This is a Mazda 6, and I am an ASE certified mechanic. Today I'm going to show you how to do an oil change on your car if you've never done it, specifically on this car, and I'm going to show you what all you need to do it. To start, you're going to need, see if the wind cooperates, 5 quarts of oil, or the car takes 4.8, 4.5 liters, 4.8 quarts. I have an oil additive for myself. I have an oil filter that I trust. This is an AC Delco part number there, PF 1237. Okay. I have a ratchet, the longest ratchet I have at my home, with a 17mm socket for the drain plug. This is the wheel key for the wheel locks, if you have them. This is an oil filter pliers to get the oil filter off, and you need something pretty small. So this is the smallest thing I have here at home. And then if you're going to rotate the tires, which I would recommend, an impact gun, because if not, you're going to be here all day long, breaking them loose by hand. So, and then you also need a torque wrench, which I don't have listed here or shown here. And you need a drain pan and a funnel for the oil and the oil additive. Okay. Now, oh, let me go back here again. Now I'm going to put this moving blanket underneath the car so I'm not getting gravel in my back and dirt on myself, and it's going to be easier to move around a little bit since I'm on the street today. I got the moving blanket on the ground, wool pans down here. Can't really show you because the car's not high enough in the air, but I'm going to break it loose. Maybe. If the camera doesn't fall over. Wait, am I going the wrong way? Yeah, I am. Dur to dur. I even do it. Let me go on this other side here. I'll block you. But that's what I gotta do right now. It's a little better if you can do it in the air on a lift, but you're not gonna have a lift because you're probably doing this at home, like me. And I would normally do this on a lift, but at my current job, my current position, I don't have access to a lift anymore. So that's what we're doing today. But yeah, I'm gonna let that drain for about a minute. Normally I'd have a rag, but I forgot to get those. You always forget something, but it is what it is. But yeah, once that's done draining and I'm not gonna get as dirty, I'm gonna use these pliers. Hopefully you can see me. I'm gonna use these pliers to get the oil filter off, which is just on the other side of this drain plug here. Break it loose. When you do it, make sure that the oil filter O-ring stays on or comes off the engine. You want it to make sure that it's not on the engine, because if you put the new filter on with it on the engine, you'll double gasket the filter, the seal will blow out, and all your oil will come out of your car, probably driving down the road. So always put your finger up there, try to get a visual on it if you can, and make sure that that it's not there, because it'll bite you if you don't. I'll let that drain for a little bit. Let's see if I can find a rag. Okay, it's probably drained enough. I'm gonna go down here and I'm going to find the drain plug, and the drain plug should have some sort of gasket on it. This one does. Okay, yep. At certain points, you'll have to replace that little gasket right there. I don't know if you can see that, but if not, it'll leak. But I don't have one today, and this thing ain't been leaking on me, so I'm gonna reuse it, which is fine. But you know, if it starts to leak, and if it does leak, it's not gonna leak like crazy. You know, it's gonna like maybe you're gonna lose like 10% of 1 quart over, you know, a 3,000 to 5,000 mile oil change, which is acceptable. Get the ratchet and tighten that up. Move this out of the way for now. And then you want to get it tight enough. Let me see if I can let you see this, how I do this here. So here's what I do. You know, to break it loose, I'm working down here. Hopefully you can see this. But to get it tight, I'm working from up here. And I'm just trying to get it tight enough to where it stops. And I'm gonna call that good. Can't break it loose with my hand. Should be fine. Okay, now I'm gonna use these pliers. I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna break this loose. And it's gonna be stubborn. You break it loose, and you get your oil pan under there finally, and then you spin it loose with your hands and let it drain. And it's gonna drain for about another minute or so. Then, once it stops draining, you can dump it out. This one, the gasket is still on there. You can see it. But I'm gonna go up here anyway, and I'm gonna feel on it. You don't have to apply oil to the oil filter gasket unless you've cleaned the oil off the sealing surface of the oil filter housing. So I've not done that. The old gasket is not on there. So I'm gonna take the new gasket, not pre-filled, because that's how I do it. It doesn't really matter unless you're trying to get a bajillion miles out of your car. But from my experience, some cars you can't even pre-fill. Like the Subarus, the oil filters are installed upside down. So what are you gonna do about that? Nothing. So, but get my rag here, tighten it up as tight as I can. And you basically want this as tight as you can get it with your hand. With your hand. Maybe even 2 hands. But if you're He-Man or a power lifter, I would probably say not that. Let me get this out of here. Or well, I can push it a little more, I guess. Get in here, really crank on it a little bit. Because you don't want this thing coming loose on you. You really don't. If you're an average guy that does average things, like me, then you'll be fine. Just getting it down as tight as you can. Generally, what I would do in a shop environment is I would get it as tight as I can with my hand, like I just did, and then I would get an oil filter wrench, a band wrench, and do like a half turn or a full turn on it, and then I'm done. Because then I know it's not going to be loose, I know it's not going to leak, and I won't have to worry about it until the next oil change. So there you go. Clean off what little oil I got messy here. And then as far as the draining and the oil filter change concerned, we are done. Let me pull this out and let me get set up so we can put oil in it. So this is just the professional oil additive that'll make it last longer, supposedly. I don't know. We just do it, okay, if you care about your stuff. You don't have to, but supposedly it helps. This thing takes 4.5 liters, which is 4.8 quarts. Well, this is 5 quarts. I'm not taking out 0.2 of a quart and measuring it. So it's getting 5 quarts plus the little half pint of oil additive, and it'll be fine. If you don't have a funnel like this, pour slow, because you're gonna get it everywhere, and that's fine. But it's gonna burn off on your engine and it's gonna smell funny and you're not gonna like it. And if you don't do this all the time, it might freak you out. Just pour that in there, tap, tap. Also, a little tech tip, the oil filter, or the oil fill cap here, the oil fill cap I put on the hood latch. And that's so you don't forget to fill the oil, because you go to close the hood, the oil fill cap's gonna either break and it's gonna be like, ooh, that sounded really bad, what was that? And then you're gonna realize you didn't put oil in it. Or the hood won't close and then you remember to put oil in it. Either way, hopefully you'll remember to put oil in it. Oil filter in the thing, or the oil funnel in the thing so it doesn't drip everywhere. And then you can check it for giggles, but let me throw this stuff away so I can have a free hand. Don't know where my rag went, so I'm not gonna worry about that right now. And it's gonna be a little over full 90% of the time when you do this, because you didn't pre-fill your oil filter and it's not ran yet. So if you really wanna be anal about it, you'd start the car, let it run for 30 seconds to a minute, shut it off, wait about a minute, and then check it again. And then it should be right there. If it's a little over, it's fine. If it's a little under, it's fine. Promise. Well, now we're gonna move on to the rotate. So it's the last lug nut on this side. And there's a wheel key. And that's why you also want to impact, because if you're doing this by hand, you're gonna have to break them all loose on the ground, jack the car up, spin them all out, and then put them all back on by hand, lower the car down with all the lug nuts loose, and then tighten them all back down. I don't want to do that. That takes too long. You can get one of these at Harbor Freight. This is in Milwaukee. It's more than you're gonna buy at Harbor Freight, but you can get one at Harbor Freight for like probably 150 bucks, which is a lot, but if you plan on doing your oil changes all the time, it's worth it. So the lug nuts there. This car specifically does not have a relearn procedure for the tires, meaning that your tire pressure monitor will automatically detect the rotate, basically. Is a way to put it. In other vehicles like Dodges and some Fords and most American vehicles, I will say, you have to relearn the tires after you rotate them. Most European and Japanese cars, you don't. Don't ask me why. I don't know, but it's a little better that way. And then you just put the lug nuts back on by hand. Don't ever spin the lug nuts on with the impact unless you want to pay me to come and fix it. Just a few threads is fine. And before I get done with that, because you've seen everything that I'm going to do there, let's take a look around. So on the car, I got 2 jack stands. They're on the same measurement. This is the most level place I can do this. I'm in the street, obviously, so let's come around here. And the reason I don't have all four jack stands up is because I'm scared that the car will fall off the jack stands. I'm not gonna put myself in a position for that to happen. That's what I mean to say. I've seen too many cars fall off the lifts. It's dangerous. So I'm doing one side at a time. And if you're on a super busy road and you gotta do this, then I would maybe even suggest doing one that's complete side, lowering it back down, and then maybe turning the car around and doing it on the safe side of the road. But other than that, we are pretty much done here. I'll be able to put the lug nuts back on, lower it down, do the other side, and then torque it down. This is what I'm using to torque the wheel. It's a 21 millimeter socket with a 5-inch extension and the torque wrench. The reason I got the 5-inch extension is because if I didn't have the 5-inch extension on it, I'd hit the car. So you stick the extension on and then you can torque it down. If you never used one of these before, you can always look it up, but I'll show you now. So you twist this loose here, and then you spin it up. Let's see if I can show you. You spin that this way and that way, and that's how you make your setting. And then you just tighten that back down, and then you're set. You're ready to roll. So let's come over here. The reason why you want to torque them, or the reason I torque them, is because I broke my wife's wheel studs off before, and I don't want to do that again, because I had to drive 3 miles with 2 lug nuts, and I don't want to do that ever again, especially on a Japanese car. I always torque the wheels, specifically on Japanese cars. Probably do it on European cars too, but if it's a truck, I'll just hit it with my impact, and I'll just make sure it's tight, and I've never had a problem. And but if it's your first time, I probably wouldn't suggest doing that, because you're probably gonna leave a wheel loose. Or you can get a torque stick, which is basically a torque limiting extension. So you can just run your impact, and you won't have any problems using your impact. But that's all I got. So Merry Christmas. Bye. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Check out our other videos.